Hello, I'm allanstordy and I live in Calgary, Alberta. I've been living with psoriasis now for 22 years. I knew about the condition before I was diagnosed because my uncle had psoriasis. And back then it was widely believed that you couldn't develop psoriasis after the age of 30. So when I noticed an itchy spot on my scalp at age 29, well, I really couldn't believe it. And sure enough, the diagnosis was psoriasis. I was devastated. Of course, it didn't end with my scalp. It spread to form a cap just under my hair, down to here, and then began to show up in different parts of my body. Small patches at first, but then, these patches would join and together, and it formed large patches. It has drastically changed the way I live my life, and it's a constant challenge to manage. I've tried all sorts of treatments and medications. Some have worked better than others, and some for shorter periods or longer periods. I did manage to clear it up once, but the medication was so expensive I had to give it up. And even though light therapy helped me, and it helped a lot, the treatments they're just inconvenient for me. I could never stay on schedule. So now I start my day with the familiar ritual of sprays and creams and lotions to keep my symptoms as mild as I can. But with moderate to severe psoriasis, it doesn't always work out so well. All my life I've been pretty active, but I can say with psoriasis I tend to do less. I no longer swim with my kids or wear shorts or t-shirts out very often. And it may be, you may think it's vanity, but you'll understand that I don't want to deal with people looking at me and wondering if I'm contagious or asking me about my condition. It's a lot simpler that way. I don't mean to paint a bleak picture, but I'd be lying to you if I said it isn't a constant challenge. Incredibly, losing an eye at 5 years old to an accident has been easier to live with than psoriasis because I can forget about having one eye, but not psoriasis. I've also developed some pretty good coping skills that I can share with you. There are some simple things you can do to preserve your self-confidence, like not wearing dark clothes so that people don't notice skin flakes from your scalp. It's no fun having people point at your shoulders and ask what those white things are. And I try to keep my hands out of sight too. Today, I am wearing a black shirt, and I'm not ashamed to show my hands because my psoriasis is under control. So that gives me a great feeling of freedom. I don't have to worry about it. But there are more important things than just hiding your condition. There's taking care of your emotional and mental health, because psoriasis can be so challenging in that regard. For me, a key part of my peace of mind has been my support network, specifically surrounding myself with people who accept me for just who I am. I can't stress that point enough. It's also important to speak to people who have psoriasis as well. It really helps you prepare mentally for your future challenges. If you can, keep in touch with them as mentors as you go through the process. They can be an invaluable resource and support. As for treatments, well, in my experience, medications are different for everyone. Remember that sometimes those who have found a solution will think it can work for everyone. It would be great if that were true, but it's not. I would recommend that you try different things, and also try not to get discouraged or especially isolate yourself. It's too difficult a condition to take on alone. And believe me, I'm not just making this up. I actually run a business that helps people cope with chronic illness in the workplace. So I have some firsthand experience with the power of good support networks. And if you want to make a difference to other people with psoriasis, you might want to find a way to get involved. It really helped me. I actually did an interview for the local news station on psoriasis for educational purposes. And when it aired nationally, I began to receive calls from fellow psoriasis sufferers. The whole experience opened my eyes to new ways to help others. Eventually, I found my way to the CSPA, where I currently sit on the board and represent skin patients on another national board that looks into research directions. I really enjoy being able to contribute, especially since I don't know if one of my 4 boys will develop the disease. So there you have it, and all my worldly wisdom about coping with psoriasis. I hope it's helped you in some way and given you some good ideas for taking care of yourself as you find your own way to deal with this challenging condition. Take care. Don't quit. Stay positive. You never know what's around the corner to help you with your psoriasis.